Up next on End of the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at Dragon's Milk Triple Mash. This is a bourbon barrel aged stout coming in at a whopping 17% ABV. Check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich and welcome to End of the Day Beer Review, and today we're looking at something that I just found in a local distributor. This is called Dragon's Milk Triple Mash, and this is a bourbon barrel-aged stout, and this is the 2023 release, and this is coming in at a whopping 17% ABV. Now, there is a whole story on the side of this, and this is a, this is brewed and bottled by New Holland Brewing Company in Holland, Michigan, it looks like. And there's a little story which is printed so small it's hard to read even with my glasses on. Dragon's Triple Mash is the ultimate indulgence, the result of years of honing techniques and pushing the limits of what a stout can be. Aged for 1 year in hand-selected bourbon barrels, the flavor notes of Dragon's Milk are, I'm going to skip that because I want to taste this and see what it's there and see if it actually is the ultimate indulgence. Now, I checked it out on their website and it said that this should be served at about 55 degrees. So I've had it out for a bit, and this is pretty fresh. I don't know how my distributor just had them on the shelf, but it was, what is it? It says it's 1/18/23. So you're talking about 5 months that this was, this was bottled, but it's a stout. Stouts, especially the barrel-aged ones, seem to last forever. So I'm really excited to try this out. Let's crack it open and we'll see. Whoa. Okay, I just opened the bottle and there is, a certain boozy bourbon smell that has just started to fill the bar. So let's pour it. Let's see what we got. So this is very dark. It's not the darkest stout I've ever seen. I still say that goes to one of the Nightmare Brewing stouts. I am using a stout glass for this. And dark brown, edging on black, but definitely dark brown. No head to speak of, not a tremendous amount of carbonation. You can see it from my perspective, but probably not on the camera. Some legs, it's sort of hard to see. But wow, you're definitely getting the aroma of the bourbon there. Wow, this is chocolate heavy. Like what I'm getting here is a tremendous amount of chocolate. And yeah, it's like a dark fudgy type of chocolate. It's not quite milk, but it's definitely not dark chocolate. I want to say that I'm getting just a tad bit of vanilla there too. And then underneath it all, I'm getting the bourbon. So this is right up my alley as far as beers go. I'm actually really excited to try this out. This sort of reminds me of Fiden's I Assure You We Make Stouts, at least the aroma, because that I still think is one of the best stouts I've ever had, and I haven't even gotten my hands on it this year. I got it last year. And this has a lot of that sort of chocolate fudginess to the nose. So let's see how it is. And again, it's 17%, so this nose, while it's very impressive, could be completely ruined if the alcohol is just so forward that you don't get any of the other flavors. All right, let's cross our fingers. Wow. This is a dangerous beer, folks. You can't taste the alcohol in this. A lot of chocolate, a lot of bourbon. On the very back end, I'm getting just a hint of vanilla, but there's no burn yet. And at 17%, this is definitely not one that you're going to want to be unaware of the alcohol content, because I think if you have 2 of these, you're probably done. All right, give it another sip. There's a chocolate fudginess to it, and that fudginess really works well with the bourbon. It's almost like a chocolate fudge with like a bourbon undernote to it, and then right on the back end, right as it's going down, you get a little bit of vanilla to sort of sweeten the whole thing. I have to tell you, I thought when I read this, the ultimate decadence was a little bit, you know, of an overstatement, but I have to give them credit. I mean, I like the normal Dragon's Milk. I do think occasionally with Dragon's Milk, you know, the base beer, it's a little boozier than I like. In fact, it seems to me that the alcohol sort of dominates the flavor. That's not the case with this. This is wonderful. Again, chocolate, that rich sort of chocolate fudge mixed in with those undernotes of bourbon, but the bourbon's not overwhelming it. And then right as you go down, right as you're swallowing it, and sort of like the whole thing moves around in your sinus cavity, you wind up with this phenomenal little hint of vanilla, and it is fantastic. This is a great beer. In fact, okay, there I am. Now, 2 sips in, I'm starting to feel the burn in my stomach. But it's not what I would consider like a 17% burn. This is a dangerous, dangerous beer. So I wonder how I did on this. Chocolate, roasted malt, okay, vanilla, and oak are all amplified in a way that allows for balance, refinement to shine through. You know, I gotta tell you, the bottle's right. All the flavors are there. Each flavor note is available and really accessible to your palate. Now I'm starting to feel the burn. You know, like 3 or 4 sips in, you know you're drinking a heavy hitter. That's a very good beer. That's a very dangerous beer. Because again, that alcohol sneaks up on you, which is really something else. Because again, like I said, with the other Dragon's Milk that I've had, and I've only really had the base, I've always felt that the booze was just a little bit over the top. In fact, it sort of, to me, washed away a lot of the other flavors. In this case, all of the flavors are there. All of the flavors are accessible, and it's almost like it plays across your tongue. Chocolate, some of that sort of roastiness of the stout, and then the bourbon sort of oakiness that they're talking about here. And then right on the tail end, just a little bit of vanilla. In fact, I've never really encountered this type of like easily definable flavors as you're going through the drinking. Now, excuse me, I will say this. As I'm drinking it, that burn is becoming more pronounced in your stomach. So maybe it's not quite as dangerous as I made it out to be. But I have to tell you, this is an excellent beer. And you know, I would highly recommend it. If you get a chance to get a hold of one of these, or better yet, a 4-pack. I bought it as a 4-pack, and the 4-pack was $19.99 by me, which I think is a deal. I really do. In fact, I'm gonna definitely hang on to one of these and see how it ages. But if you get a chance, this is, again, Dragon's Milk Triple Mash, a bourbon barrel aged stout, and this is the 2023 version of this beer. And if it's available by you, get it, and get it now. And quite frankly, if you can get it for 20 bucks, 4 of them for 20 bucks, get the whole 4-pack, because I think this is a beer that is going to age well. Now, there's nothing that on the bottle that says anything about that. In fact, 12 fluid ounces, brewed and bottled, triple mash, 17% ABV. It says I should be drinking this out of a snifter. I went with the stout glass, so my mistake on that one. There's nothing about this that says drink now. So this is definitely one that I'm going to try to cellar and see how it comes out on the other end of, let's say, a year or 2 years. And quite frankly, I might run back to the distributor tomorrow and pick up another 4-pack, because for 20 bucks, this is a deal. Anyway, folks, this is, again, Dragon's Milk Triple Mash. If you've had some of the other Dragon Milk's variants, I'd love to hear about it. If you've had this one, I'd love to hear your feedback about this particular beer, because again, I'm looking at it and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's great. You know, and I'd love to hear what other people have to say about it. And I think that's it. I think I'm going to slowly enjoy this for the rest of the evening, because like I said, now that warmth in the stomach, it's pretty obvious so that you can tell that this is really a heavy ABV type of beer. But yeah, this is outstanding, and if you get a chance to get your hands on it, I highly recommend it. Anyway, folks, have a good night. I'm gonna go sit down and enjoy this one. Cheers.